There's finally big breaking news in the MLB. Took a couple of days for the big breaking news to come back, but we're here. We got some breaking news. It's gonna be a fun one. A three-team trade between Atlanta, Oakland, and Milwaukee, and also Chris Bassitt signing in Toronto. It's a fun one. Let's get straight into all this nonsense here, and let's start off with the three-team trade, as that was our first thing to break. The trade, the Atlanta Braves get Sean Murphy. Massive deal for them. Oakland gets Kyle Muller, Esteury Ruiz, Freddie Tarnick, Royber Salinas, and Manny Pena. And Milwaukee gets William Contreras, Justin Yeager, and Joel Payamps. Just massive deal. Massive deal. The Braves get their catcher for the future, for the now and for the future, and Sean Murphy. Milwaukee's getting their catcher. They had a very good hitting catcher in Omar Narvaez when he was, one, healthy, and two, when he was on and hitting well. But Contreras will be a good hitting catcher for them. Manny Pena to the Oakland A's gives them a just solid MLB catcher. It's the guy that can catch for them. Maybe they can flip at the deadline depending on if they feel like it. Who knows? But maybe Oakland could have gotten a little bit more in this deal. Maybe, I'm not sure. But I think it's a good deal. All around. Especially, I think it's a good deal, great deal for Atlanta, great deal for Milwaukee. Maybe not a great deal for Oakland, just maybe a good deal for Oakland. But I mean, I'm very high on Esteury Ruiz Jeez Louise. Messing my words up today. But no, I'm very high on him. Also Kyle Muller, solid as well. Royber Salinas, Jeff Passan is saying that no one's really reported him, but he's very interesting, has good he's intriguing, has a lot of strikeouts and A-ball, but also his controls a little all over the place. But if you can dial that in, could be a solid pitcher. So there's definitely solid pieces moving around the board. It is a very interesting one. Honestly, it's very interesting. Where does it land? Kind of in this spectrum of like the Braves still trying to win a World Series. In that sense, I think the Braves have taken a step forward. I think Sean Murphy is great. William Contreras is really just DHing for them. Sean Murphy at catcher is a massive upgrade over Travis d'Arnaud. And it's a long-term upgrade too. They're going to probably try and get him to an extension. And you also get a Matt Olson and Sean Murphy reuniting in Atlanta. So that one's also interesting as well. The Milwaukee Brewers, they get a guy in William Contreras, who's really the big piece of this deal for them. I think they will catch him, honestly. I think they will catch him. And now both Contreras brothers in that division, as Wilson obviously signed with the Cardinals, and now William Contreras gets sent to the Brewers. Just, yeah. I feel like this trade makes sense for the Brewers in that sense. Yeah, you had to give up Esteury Ruiz, who eventually does go to Oakland in this three-team deal and whatever. But I still think I think that the Brewers had a kind of logjam of outfielders. Esteury Ruiz, if I remember correctly, can play the outfield. So it just kind of came down to where did he fit in, and he's starting to get closer to the big leagues, and they have so many outfield prospects, especially at the top there. I think it probably just made sense to do that. Yeah, Esteury Ruiz is listed as an outfielder. Yeah, and they have so many guys ahead of him. Jackson Chourio, Sal Frelick, Joey Weimer, Garrett Mitchell, Bryce Terrain can play the outfield too. Just kind of a log jam ahead of him, essentially. And the Brewers are trading from excess outfield prospects. They could trade from there. I think that's totally fair. Obviously the Braves trading Muller, he's their top prospect. And he's MLB ready. So essentially, we heard the Braves, they want MLB pieces or close guys who are at least close to the big leagues. that they kind of did that this deal. They want cheap guys who could maybe turn into something, but they also want those guys to be able to play now for them. That seems like that's what they're prioritizing, and good for them. But the real winners of this deal are the Atlanta Braves. What do they do with the DH spot? Do they DH Darno, or do they put someone else there? I don't know. But you're getting your catcher for the foreseeable future, especially if you can lock them up to an extension. And also Milwaukee, I think, did solid on this deal to bring in a guy like William Contreras. And I think they'll roll with him at catcher, actually. I don't think they'll DH him. I think they will catch him, unlike the Braves, who are DHing him. But to move on from this deal, because the other big piece of breaking news was Chris Bassitt to the Toronto Blue Jays. As a Red Sox fan, I hate this. We don't need more starting pitching. Please, you don't need it. Stop it. But no, it's a good deal for the Blue Jays. 3 years, $63 million. The top of the rotation is just not going to be fun, isn't it? It's not going to be fun to go up against. Yeah, I don't like that at all. I don't like it. Just oh gosh, that top of the rotation. Gosman, Manoah, who already killed the Red Sox. Now you get Bassett coming in. And if Jose Barrios has a bounce back year, and then you also have Ryu, who could have a bounce back year as well, or maybe Kikuchi just doesn't suck. Oh gosh, that Blue Jays rotation is gonna be good. And that lineup, I mean, yeah, they don't have Teoscar Hernandez. I know they've been looking for left-handed hitting outfielder. They've kind of whiffed so far. I know they're kind of interested in Bellinger. I know they did get Kiermaier, but the point is, they didn't get like a bat. Like, I know Bellinger's kind of not really a bat anymore, but he has the potential. You've seen him do it. Kiermaier's not like a bat. Although, like, yes, Kiermaier in center, hypothetically, and Springer in right makes your defense in the outfield a heck of a lot better. But Kiermaier isn't like the bat like maybe a Brandon Nimmo would have brought to the table. Obviously, it kind of seemed like Nimmo was going to go back to the Mets anyways, which he did. But the whole point is they kind of missed their opportunity on that kind of left-handed hitter. That could really kind of change their lineup and just make it that much better. But they're still going to have a really good lineup. Yeah, their lineup will be a little bit worse next year, hypothetically. Because you're losing Teoscar Hernandez, but their defense will be a lot better with Kevin Kiermaier and George Springer in the same outfield. So you take a little bit of a hit on the offense, but you gain a lot on the defense. So yeah, just the Blue Jays having a solid offseason. I don't think they're doing anything crazy, but it's definitely a solid offseason. And you can't fault them for going after a guy like Chris Bassitt, although I hate it as a Red Sox fan, I must say that. But overall, I think it's a solid deal. I mean, Blue Jays fans, I don't think they'll complain about it, or at least I don't think they should complain about it. I think it's solid. The only thing that's up for the Blue Jays is when you're going to get your guys like Bichette and Guerrero locked in long term. That's the only question. That is the only question for the Blue Jays. When you get those guys locked up long term, that is the only question. But yeah, I think that is where we're gonna wrap it up. Don't want to take this too long, but let us know your thoughts in the comments on both that massive 3-team trade between the Braves, the A's, and the Brewers, and also thoughts on the Chris Bassitt signing, him going to Toronto. A very, very interesting one. Yeah, make sure to check out all the links in the Bleacher Brawls links in the description, the Bleacher Brawls website, podcast, Instagram, and Twitter, plus all the crew's Twitters. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you get notified whenever we post. Thanks for tuning in to Bleacher Brawls. My name is Derek, and I'll see you next time.